We're almost 2 years into the president's new tax law, and while Republicans continue to tout the president's policy, some Democrats in high-tax states are feeling the salt being rubbed in their wounds. Joining us right now is our guest host, Ways and Means ranking member, Texas Congressman Kevin Brady's here. Also, New Jersey Congressman and Financial Services Committee Josh Gottheimer is here as well. So thank you for both for being here. Let's talk about the salt issue, because you're living it. You're living with it.
It's killing us.
And you think it's killing. And this was your creation. So what are we going to do?
Because it's the state and local taxes that are killing people in New Jersey. By the way, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, the high tax state, these are fantastic states, great economy. But they are brutally taxed. And repealing these taxes would be a huge giveaway. About half of it goes to millionaire households. Josh's district, average family of four, got a tax cut of $5,700. That helps them.
Wait, now you don't like millionaires either?
No, I like millionaires. This tax break was focused on middle-class families and raising them.
No,
and now you do like money?
Listen, and I appreciate Kevin's work on this, and also
like
the reduction, and of course the reduction of taxes for businesses of all sizes. I think that was a good step. The concern is for states like mine. In my district, everyone's taxes went up. So the problem is, other places maybe got a break. All I know is in my district, are people really feeling it? Home values are way down. New Jersey, #1 out-migration state. Of course, we can do more to get our taxes down in Jersey. I'm a big believer in that. But here's the problem. Jersey is taking care of other states right now. We're literally paying their bills, these moocher states, which I talk about. We're lifting them all up, and the problem, now we're lifting them up even more. That's my base issue. If these states want to say, listen, we're not going to take a dime more than we put into the kitty, that's fine, and we can make that deal. But right now, the problem is we're paying for all these moocher states, and that's my fundamental problem.
You guys weren't going to argue.
I love it.
We're not. We're getting along. We're just
Texas is a donor state. We have
Texas
high
is a donor state, but there are a lot of states that are mooching.
Yeah. Yes, but I'll tell you what, it's not because of tax cut. Look, 80% of New Jerseyans got a tax cut, just like in New York. Texas has high property taxes. The difference is our whole tax approach is designed to track jobs and attract people. New Jersey brutally taxes. And Josh, look, you don't do the taxes in your state, but you have the worst property taxes in the world based on the highest rates. And your governor, after the SALT was in place, raised taxes on families and businesses and wants to do more. Can you imagine what he does
I certainly didn't agree
if
with
SALT's
that.
repealed?
I certainly didn't agree with that, but here's the deal. Mississippi and Alabama, right? Mississippi takes $4.38 for every dollar they pay. Their budgets, they start their budgets, ask their legislators, they start and say, what are we getting from the federal government that's here to help pay our way? That's where they start. And then they expect us to just write them a check every year. So what if we just did this crazy idea? What do you think about this? They don't take a nickel more than they pay in. And that seems like a very basic idea.
Let's equalize Medicaid. New York and New Jersey Medicaid dollars are about 5 times more than what they are in Texas. Let's even all of this stuff. Or we can do this. Everyone pays their own taxes. That's what we did in tax reform. We essentially said, we don't care where you live or how your government's taxed. You're just going to pay your taxes. Some of the state is not going to. So if New Jersey governor wants to raise taxes on families, a single mom in New Jersey who doesn't itemize shouldn't pay for it. Nor should a single mom in New York or in Iowa pay for it.
Kevin, just the double taxation idea that we're getting whacked twice. I mean, my concern is that we're paying taxes twice on the same income. So if Jersey wants to do what they want to do, we just shouldn't get hit twice for it.
Okay, but I'm going to push back on that, because I imagine you probably believe in I don't know if you believe in raising not carried interest, but capital gains.
I don't think we should be raising any taxes right now.
Okay.
I'm so confused right now.
You're the Democrat?
We can't afford, but that's
you're the
because
Republican that hates millionaires.
No, I don't.
The one that loves millionaires.
I just don't think
create this tax break for millionaires. That's all.
Andrew, are you confused?
I'm not confused. I get what's happening here.
Are you really?
Everybody's representing their own interests. That's what's really happening here.
The SALT thing is
better for
no.
It's better for
how much do you have to make? How much you have to make before the SALT really hits you in New Jersey? It's not the people that you're talking.
No,
about.
it's
$250,000.
No. If you actually look at it, every county in my district pays over $10,000 in SALT. Right, the average. So they're getting. They're all getting
very
hit.
rich county.
Well, it's an expensive place to live.
Can we just get rid of the pretenses here? Forget about the philosophical views here. Yeah. Everyone's saying they have a philosophical view. I would make the case that you have a view that maybe it's philosophical, maybe it's not, but that this tax plan benefits your state And I believe that your view of how you want the tax policy to be.
Oh, politics are local.
That's what we're talking about.
That's our job, right? We're representatives. That is our job.
No, I know, but it's not anything more than that. It's not an ideological.
No, look, Andrew, I disagree.
You disagree.
This wasn't about blue versus red states at all. This is about economic growth in a big way. Look, Josh just made the point. Their property taxes are over 10,000. That 10,000 figure is double the national average.
It is.
So these are states that are brutal taxing states, and I think Josh
because the
agrees
cost
with
of
me.
living is very high, right?
So because in part your taxes are so high, and I think you would agree with me. The state legislature and the governors of other cities ought to be lowering those taxes.
But Josh, you want lower.
I agree. I think we should do whatever we can.
You're
to
crazy.
cut taxes.
You want lower taxes for your wealthy constituents. The entire platform of every nominee in your party in this election is higher taxes for wealthy people. Are you not on board?
No, if you live here, your cost of living. If you live here, your cost of living is higher. So what seems like a higher number in parts of Texas or Mississippi or Alabama
you don't want
just
wealthy
doesn't
people
go
to
as
pay
far.
more in taxes?
I want to make sure that people can afford to live in my district, and that's what I care about. No, but I'm not for. I don't just think we should.
What about the wealth
just
tax?
reflexively?
You don't like that?
I don't support.
You
that.
have a nominee that you want someone else. Do you want Bloomberg?
I don't. No. I don't support.
You want Hillary to run against so she can win again?
I don't support raising taxes. I guess that's the bottom line.
Okay, so here, what I was going to say is I just did an interview with George Soros. Wrote a column about it. I know that's like a dog whistle for you.
Whoa! Well, I heard it. It's not a dog. That was loud and clear.
He said that he believes that the candidate that is the most qualified is Elizabeth Warren, and then went on to say that he supports taxing the rich and a wealth tax. What do you make of that?
I don't think that's. I do not believe that the answer.
Longtime supporter of your party.
I don't believe the answer right now is to raise taxes on folks. And to your point, in my district, in my state, where we have a huge outmigration, where costs are too high, the answer has to be to cut taxes, to get spending under control. I think we got to look at our deficits. You know, the tax plan added the tax plan added $2 trillion to deficit. GDP growth isn't where it should be and where we thought it was going to be. So I'm concerned about long-term viability. And the idea of just whacking people more with higher taxes is not our way to growth.
Issue. So
repealing the SALT adds $600 billion to the deficit. You can't talk about doing one and talk about the other. It adds $600 billion. We use those dollars to lower taxes on working families. We did, in my belief, the right thing. And by the way, just so you know, revenues this year in Washington are at the highest in U.S. history. Inflation adjusted the second highest.
Well be true, but
look, the problem isn't you're sending us too much money, not enough money. The problem is our spending, especially in our automatic pilot programs.
We did
just
so many interviews, probably 2 or 3 years ago, when all of this was being put together, and we would ask you very straight up, is this going to pay for itself? And you very straight up would say yes.
So what I said was over time, we believe, and I think we'll know year 7, 8, 9, we'll have the true picture of how much of that we recouped. I believe there's a very good chance we do that.
If the revenue is above where it was,
it is above.
That's what I mean. You don't think that means that you've cut taxes, but the revenue is still above? You don't see how that sort of could be implied?
Look at our other guests.
We're just at 1/10 of projected growth right now. Listen, if it works out, that's great. But Kevin, the one thing I'd say is we can fully reinstate SALT. And I'll show you a plan. I'm going to sit down with you and show you my legislation, which does it without actually adding to the deficit.
It's hard for me to argue. I live in New Jersey. It's hard for me to argue against him here.
Look, we know there is impact. Look, we're not.
No, I'm actually okay with it because I think that the profligate spending of New York and New Jersey, you deserve this.
I think we should get spending down and get taxes down, but I also think it's ridiculous that we're paying for everyone else. That's the principle. That's my principal problem with this. That we pay for all these moocher states. That's what really bothers me.
But you got to take everything into account, though.
I'm fine with looking at everything, but I'd say this. There's a way to do it where we actually can address the deficit issues, get our taxes down, and make our businesses happy. There's a way and promote growth without just whacking people.
What can we cut? You say that a lot of it's fixed spending. We can't cut any. We got it. And the Trump administration has no interest in entitlement reform. Why not?
Yeah.
Next term,
look, all the projected deficits. There is some for military buildup. Josh has been a big supporter, obviously, of defense and security in a big way.
But
I will tell you,
that too.
You can
pretty basic. That's bipartisan.
That's a basic thing. You want to make sure our country is secure.
But most of the spending is in those automatic programs. We're going to have to figure out a way, both parties, how we save Social Security for the long run. Medicare's hospital fund goes bankrupt in 7 years. This is one of those, neither party can do it themselves. We're going to have to figure out a way.
And we got to get through trade. We got to get our prescription drug costs down.
No
There's a way to do
Let me ask you a
this.
separate question. What do you think high salt states like New York, like New Jersey should do? Assuming that nothing changes, what do you think is going to happen?
You're going to obviously have to get costs down to make sure that you can still provide the services you need. But you're going to really take a very, very hard look at it, right? And make some decisions that are tough decisions, right? These are tough decisions the state legislatures need to make. But I think we have to I believe we're going to get more salt back. I think we're going to work this out because I think there's certain extenders that the Republicans want. I think we can make it.
Where is there a middle here? I have not heard about the middle.
I don't think respectfully, don't think that's the case. I do think these high-tax states have got to make a decision. They've been losing, New York's been losing $100 billion of wealth over the last 20 years, lost 1,100 millionaires the year before tax reform. I think these states fundamentally have to change the way they tax. And millennials are fleeing New York, New Jersey, California, Illinois. They love living in those states. They just can't afford it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're going to have to change.
And I listen, I agree we got to get costs down. The salt issue killed us, and it totally stuck it to certain states. That's my fundamental issue. I know we disagree on this. So why don't we go back? Here's what I think we need to do. I think we need to really look at what's going to all these moocher states, take a fundamental look at that, try to get the reliance of some of these other states on Jersey down and New York, and then
your party wants to go to socialism, and you don't like moochers. I don't understand who you are. How long have you been in Washington?
That's not all our party. You know that. Come on.
Term.
That's all I hear. Every candidate running.
The good news is Kevin is a real...
Nationals don't do it for you. You're in Washington.
No. What? I'm an Astros
But that's what I mean. But how long have you been in Washington? You live in Washington now.
No, we live in Texas, in the Woodlands, Texas.
How much time do you spend in Washington? You don't like Washington at all, the Nationals at all?
They're a great team, and they're real. But my family and I commute. What have I got? 2.5 million miles.
You still like the Yankees or
flying back?
I'm a huge Yankees fan.
You're not a Nationals
That's why I'm not thrilled with it.
Yeah, look, Yankees are.
No, come on, man.
Tell you what, they're real. I know that.
That's for
they're
sure.
real.
And by the way, and I was just saying, Kevin is a very good man, and I think.
No.
I would right back at you.
Because actually, it's okay to disagree about ideas. This is how you should have a discussion.
You don't like
You shouldn't scream at each other.
What about social? I don't.
You can keep promoting this agenda of yours. I'm against that.
Okay. Congressman, thank you.
I just watched the debate.
Sticking around.
I learned everything
Don't
from the
paint
last
us all
debate.
the same,